G'day guys, welcome back to Stat Chat Sports. You're here with me, Josh. I've got BT and Tazza on the line today. We're doing our AFL season previews. If you've clicked on this video, you know that today's team is the Sydney Swans and we have them finishing in 5th spot. BT, just some initial thoughts on your end about the Sydney Swans and a lot of confidence on our end that they're going to have a pretty good year.
I like this team a lot, especially for the next 5 to 10 years. I think they're going to be a team up there for quite a while if they can keep the players they have. They've got.
Why do you think that? What do you like about them?
Range of players from the age of 22 to 26, 27. It sounds young, but they've still played enough games, just 60, 70 odd games. Players, by the guys who started last season. Well, last season I think it was Gulden and Campbell, all these guys who played.
Chad Warner as well.
Chad Warner, yeah. I think they had the first 3 nominees for the Rising Star last season.
Yeah.
The first 3 rounds.
Yeah. I don't know if that's ever happened before. I'm going to go with it. Stat chat. Got to have a stat chat for the episode. But yeah, certainly those guys shot out the blocks. But Taylor, it's like BT was saying, these guys that are 22 but have already got 60, 70 games under their belt because, you know, Longmire hasn't been afraid to blood those young players over the last couple of years while they've been building.
Yeah, I mean, Sydney they haven't been a contender for a while, but they haven't really bottomed out, and it's because of they've drafted really well with these guys, and yeah, like you said, Longmire hasn't been afraid to throw them in the deep end. He's given them time. He's not expected them to hit the ground running, but he's just put his faith in the young guys, and with the drafting working well, they're reaping the rewards, and like BT said, I think they're here to stay for a long time.
Yeah, I think the midfield is certainly the strong point of this team, both with those experienced veterans. Kennedy's still going around with Luke Parker in the middle, but, you know, obviously Mills has had a breakout year last year. Isaac Heaney's going to get plenty of time running through the midfield, just signed a 6-year extension. So they certainly see him hanging around for the long term. But of course, you know, your Warners and your Errols of the world that really shot to promise last year. It's a deep midfield, and that's certainly the strength, BT.
I think they have, out of most teams, the most like C to B grade plus players. They've got a few, obviously, like a Mills and Heaney, who you would say are probably Parker, Kennedy, your A type players. But below that, they've got nearly the rest of their team on the park, I would say, a C to B. They don't really have.
I think they've got good role players. Their role players play well in the system.
Yes, and they just play as a perfect team.
The thing is, with those B to C players, they're all quite young too. That you don't have any dead wood floating around in there just holding up spots. There's plenty of growth there for a lot of those C, B grade players left.
And they have a few guys fighting for spots. A lot of guys who are in emergency who can come straight in. The depth is good in all parts, I think. Maybe the defense lacks a little bit inexperience there, but
yeah. So let's touch on that a little bit, BT. Defense, you said the weak point, probably the key defenders. We think is where Sydney's really going to struggle, and has got to find a couple of guys this year.
I think your centre half back is the one that's what they need to find. I don't mind Tom McCartney down back. He played every game last season. He was 14th for 1%ers in the league last season. That's
a nice stat.
There you go.
Yeah, we like that.
I like that.
He was a reasonable defender. It was not a pushover at all. And another preseason under his belt. Hopefully he improves, and hopefully he stays there. Rampy back. He didn't play. Did he play much at all last season? I don't recall.
Not sure, but he certainly is one of the really good lockdown defenders, and he's going to make a good contribution. But Taylor, it's the centre half back position which we're a little bit worried about, and the Swans have got a few options.
Yeah, the SSP signing of Paddy Mccartney is a really interesting signing, I think. Originally, obviously drafted as a forward, never really fulfilled his potential, but
the concussions was a big problem there, wasn't it? So yeah, good to see him getting back in the game and getting on a list, really.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, wish him the best, definitely. and it looks like he may have been converted in the twos to something of a key defender. Something maybe he uses a swingman role in that team, but I think there's definitely a place for him in that team and a place for him in the defence. He's still got time. He's still got plenty of time to forge a career. And Sydney's with their lack of depth there, I think he may see some time.
I think they've given him a bit of time in the pre-season, and really it's almost a three-way battle between himself, Lewis Melican. He's a young player, but he didn't play many games last year, and Sam Reid still on the list. He's a good guy. He's a good option forward and back. If they can't manage to lock one of those two guys down, you could see Sam Reid with some time.
Yeah, no, I think Sam Reid, he's been around for a while. He's a genuine swingman. You can throw around wherever. He's proven that he can go forward and kick goals in the absence of Buddy or Logan McDonald if he's not there. But we'll probably see him more down the in defence, I'd say, this year. I predict the emergence of Logan McDonald and probably fill up that forward line.
Yeah, they're going to need a big year out of McDonald, yet to debut, and I think big raps on him to really step up and take over when Buddy ultimately does give it away. BT, do you see McDonald really being able to benefit from Buddy's presence, get that second defender, and start to thrive a bit?
I think whenever you don't have the main defender, you're always going to benefit there. And having the experience of Buddy Franklin around, he's going to obviously teach you a few things. But the big ones are, like your Papley, obviously he's a quality small forward there. He's going to kick
Papley injured as well.
Yeah.
Papley, I think, I'm not sure how serious, but I don't think he's going to start the season. No. So it's a bit disappointing.
So but they've got these guys, with their midfield depth, who they just rotate through the forward and midfield. I've read Parker and Kennedy are going to be spending a lot more time forward, so they get midfield minutes in these younger guys. So they're quality players. They're going to kick you your goals, and they could probably kick 40, 45 between them for the season, if not more. If they're playing a lot forward, they know how to find the ball. But McDonald, he looks the goods. I think he's going to be a pretty good forward. Buddy Franklin, 5 goals away. How many? I think second round, he'll probably get that.
Probably a bit much to ask in the first, isn't it?
Yeah.
We'd love to see it, but probably a bit much.
You'd say you have, Phil Davis on him in round 1 as well. So, it's once he got, how many games do you reckon he's going to play this season? That's the big one.
Over under 12 and a half. You take the over or the under?
Oh, that's right on.
I'm going to say under with injuries. I think
they're going to manage that way,
unfortunately. Yeah.
You're going to want him to play finals.
Yeah, best case scenario is Buddy's playing 15 games this year.
Yeah.
Resting a fair few, get him right for finals, and then just let him go.
How good would it be if he wins the Coleman?
Off 15 games.
Oh, if anyone can do it, it's Buddy Franklin.
Yeah, it is a wide open spread for the Coleman. They don't kick as many goals. So, if he has a couple of big sort of bags of 6 or 7, he could be featuring pretty prominently, I think.
Yeah, that would be wicked to see.
So, look, I think we're all over Sydney for finals. It's just a matter of how far they can go. Certainly, if they're featuring up the top end of the ladder, we expect a few All-Australians to be coming from the Sydney Swans. BT, have you got any guys that you think are locks and maybe a couple that are probably going to sneak into that 40-man squad?
I like Isaac Keaney. If he's playing 80, 90% midfield minutes, I think he's ready to hit the ground running. He's burning up the track, like we say.
We love those. Training the house down. That's what we want to see.
I reckon he looks the goods. If he plays those midfield minutes as they're saying he's going to, I think he would be closer to making not just the 40-man, but the actual squad.
Half-forward flank, of course.
Yeah, more than likely. Or a forward pocket, but he plays midfield. Callum Mills, if he starts the season, because I know he's a little bit sore. The season he had last year, That was top quality season. Jake Lloyd, if he gets back.
Lloyd.
So
Lloyd.
he's obviously he's a quality player as well. There's a few there. But Heaney's the one. I think Heaney's going to have that breakout season. Hopefully, because he's in my fantasy team.
Is he your breakout player? We do like to talk about a breakout player and a player under the pump for each team. Is he your breakout, or have you got someone else in mind?
I've got him, and I've got Justin Mcinerney.
Yeah, okay, nice.
He's taken Dawson's role on that wing, and he's just going to be playing. Oh, he'll play nearly every game. I'm not saying he's going to be pushing all Australian or whatnot. I think he's just going to have a solid year, cement his spot on the wing there, and just be a quality wingman.
Yeah, I like that. Solid player, handy player, going to do his job and establish himself in the best 22. That's what you want to see from young talent across the board. And a player under the pump. Have you got one in mind for the Sydney Swans who you think they need a big year to really establish himself or keep a spot on the list?
I was looking through it, and it was actually, out of all the teams we've gone through, this was probably one of the hardest ones I've found to find a player. But I've come up with Nick Blakey. I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know if they know, if he knows what his role is. He was. They promised all this talent from him. He's got the class there. He's not a bad player at all. But you've got these other guys who are taking up the spots where he was playing, and it's whether he can find a spot in the team. I'm not saying he's a bad player. I'm not saying he needs to improve. It's just whether these other guys are better than him in these positions.
And I think we've seen with a team like the Giants where when they get a lot of young talent coming through, they're not afraid to wheel and deal and trade some away and get extra picks and regenerate the list. So, yeah, I can certainly see that being a possibility this off-season where, some of those youngsters haven't progressed how they'd like them to. Trade them out the door, more picks coming in, and then you just keep that succession of young players coming through. I think it's a really good list and a good model that the Swans have been able to build here. Yeah, and we like them. We like them a lot. So we've got them in 5th spot in our combined Stat Chat ladder. I know a couple of them had them in the top 4, and I don't think we'd be surprised at all if they are there at the business end, sneaking into a preliminary final and doing some damage.
I've got them making the grand final.
Oh,
nice.
Yeah, I like them a lot.
Nice.
I think.
I won't ask for who they're going to be playing against because they might feature in our upcoming videos of our season previews. But yeah, we certainly are big on the Swans here at Stat Chat Sports. Look, there's not long to go now. Season starting next week. So make sure you subscribe to Stat Chat Sports. There's going to be plenty of AFL content coming out as we get closer to the start of the season. And of course, as the season is up and running itself. Nice chat, boys. Nice and quick, nice and succinct. We like it tonight. Very good. And we'll see you again for the next one. Cheers, guys.